Hello, everybody. It's 6 o'clock, and you are listening to The Uzi Show. Today's topic is the top 10 things that are most important to me and my guest and co host for today, Al Haji Ba. Haji, say hi.
Hi guys.
Hi. Okay, let me start you off with some tunes. This is Death Machine by Magic Daddy. Hajj, how did you like those tunes?
Uh, well, it was different. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I played the first thing that I saw because it was 6 o'clock and I was panicking, and then we had like technical difficulties
That explains a
in the
lot.
beginning, and I'm like, okay, that never happens to me. Well, this is awkward. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So the show is going to be about the top 10 most important things in our lives. And the second part of the show is going to be an interview about Maruf, which is a nonprofit social action organization, from what I understand. And you're the spokesperson, Al Hajj, right?
Yep, I was kind of forced into it.
Yep.
So I'm here.
It's pretty awesome. Anyway, okay, so for the most important things, I'm going to start.
Okay.
The most important thing, number one, is my family, specifically my parents, because they gave me birth and they fed me and they gave me good Indian food to eat. And now I'm here today and I'm doing this radio show talking to you. And if it wasn't for them, I'd probably not be here.
Makes sense.
And I still need them to take care of me sometimes, even though I'm 23. Like when I'm sick, I can't take care of myself when I'm sick. I still need them. Which is kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah, she's 23, but she looks like she's 12.
I do. And I especially look very, very young today because Al Hajj is like so tall. Like, how tall are you?
I'm about 6'6".
You're 6'6". Okay, you look like 7 feet to me. Like, I wish you could see how you look from my angle because I'm 5'0". And everything is like giant to me.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, like, you're sitting across from me, but I feel like I'm looking at your stomach and not at your face. So. Okay, number 2 is Harry Potter.
Oh,
Harry Potter is like the second
she's
most
definitely
important.
12. Yeah.
I'm not 12, okay? Harry Potter, there's old people that like Harry Potter too. It's an amazing book series, and I don't care what anyone says, I'm a raving Harry Potter fan. And the books, like, I used to read them to put me in a different world. Like, I don't know any writer who could really do that. I don't know
Capture
anyone who
your
could compete
imagination
with
like
that
that.
author,
Okay.
huh?
Capture your imagination.
Yeah,
kinda.
like she came up with all of that just from scratch. You know, she created that world. And it's not like The Lord of the Rings, where like, yeah, I like The Lord of the Rings, but that came from The Hobbit, you know?
Yeah.
But J.K. Rowling, that came from scratch, man.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
know
it's
about
like,
that.
yeah. I really want to visit like the Harry Potter world in Florida.
Oh,
In Orlando, Florida.
there's the
I
Harry
think
Potter
it's going to
world,
be a
okay.
part of my marriage contract. Like, okay, you have to take me to Harry Potter world first. As soon as I get my hands on some dough, that's the first place I'm
Good luck
going.
with that.
Yeah.
I'd
Okay.
love to meet the guy who's going to sign that contract.
Hey, I wouldn't marry anybody who wouldn't sign that contract. So. Okay. Number 3 for me is film. Because I am a film major and that's what I want to do with my life. That's going to be my career. So, yeah, that's definitely one of the most important things in my life. I don't know. I just feel like it just makes me really happy.
Yeah.
Like my major. Like, what do you do?
As a profession?
Yeah, as a profession.
I'm a software engineer by trade.
Mm-hmm.
And currently I'm doing consulting for a software engineering company.
Yeah.
Specializes in warehouse management systems.
Okay. So is that like one of the most important things in your life?
Yes, it is.
That's good.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What would you do
Keeps
with
me
it?
challenged.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is it like your passion or is it just something
No,
that you?
it's definitely not my passion.
Oh, so what is your passion?
Well, it's kind of like a second-class citizen when it comes to my passions.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the thing that I'm passionate the most about, or the most of, or whatever. Yeah, but I like it because it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a niche. It's not a lot of people out there doing that kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
It's very challenging, and no 2 days resemble each other.
Mm-hmm.
So every day you're doing something different. You know, you
Yeah.
may seem smart one day, and the next day you look completely dumb. Especially dealing with some clients. So
That's funny. That's how I feel in school sometimes. Like one day I'm like so smart and I'm talking and I'm telling everybody, yeah, I know about this and I know about that. Like, did you read this article? And the next day, like, I don't know anything.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing because like you build yourself up, you
Yeah.
know, and then
All of a sudden,
you mess up and it's like, especially when you're wearing like hijab on your head, like you
Yeah.
feel the pressure to say the right thing all the time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So like one day you're smart and the next day you're not. I totally get that. Okay, number 4 for me is drinking chai every day. I don't know who I am without my chai.
Oh boy.
South Asians and our tea. Tea to us is like meat to Arabs. Like if we don't have it, we get really angry.
Oh. All the Arabs out there they're so offended.
No, they know. They know. They know it's true. Um, but
I've tried being a chai drinker,
mhm.
but I don't know. I never developed the taste for it.
Really,
No.
I think you have to be an Indian.
Yeah, yeah. I don't drink
We,
chai, but I do drink a lot of black tea though.
yeah, yeah. Like we run on chai.
Yeah, I can.
South Asians. Yeah. Like I drank chai before I came here because if I didn't drink chai, I wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
Like no, nothing happens
The f-
without it.
The funny thing is, like my dad used to live in Morocco, and they have their own kinds of chai
Mhm.
down there, and it's completely different from, I guess, Indian
Mhm.
version of chai.
Yeah.
They put no milk in it. It's like very light kind of tea.
Is
So
it like a mint tea?
yeah,
Like a Moroccan
yeah,
mint.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love Moroccan mint tea.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I always order it when I go to like Middle Eastern restaurants or like
restaurants.
tea houses or something like that. Tea
Arab-
is just awesome. It's like one of the best inventions in the world. Just like
I don't know about
calms
that.
you. Well, maybe it's not an invention because like it grows.
Yeah, God invented it.
God invented it.
Yeah.
Thank you, God, for that. Um, okay, and number 5 for me is just being a successful person. I want to know that I'm doing something meaningful in my life, and being good at it. That's basically what success is to me, and that's
Okay.
one of the most important things
Okay.
to me. Just being successful.
Being successful.
Yeah, I think it.
That's kind of vague, don't you think?
Huh?
Being successful.
That's kind of what.
Vague.
Vague.
What does success
Being
mean to
successful in what I want to do. That's
Okay.
like, pursuing film. I really want to be successful, and I know it's like one in a million.
you?
1 in a million people make it, but success is just, to me, is like putting a piece of work together that I really like.
That you're proud of,
Yeah, that I'm proud
Yeah.
of. That's success to me.
even though everyone else thinks it's crap.
Yeah, yeah, even though everyone else thinks it's crap,
There you go.
but I don't care. And just having people view my work.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's success. But so what are your 5 things?
Well, it's gonna definitely be hard to top yours.
Sure, it's gonna be hard to top Harry Potter. Nothing can top that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get a little bit boring, I guess, for the audience here. But I thought of it on my way here, and
Uh-huh.
I decided to go on the more spiritual side of things.
Okay, so you're a spiritual person.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's
Very
nothing wrong with
very,
that.
Very spiritual
I'm
person.
spiritual sometimes,
Okay, except for Harry Potter.
except for Harry Potter. I'm spiritual 5 times a day.
Okay. Number 1 is the creator. Very passionate about the creator. You mentioned parents earlier, and to me, it's only logical that the one who's responsible for my parents being here and actually giving birth to me,
Of course,
should
definitely.
actually, somehow fit in there in that top 5. So God is going to be number 1. Number 2 is going to be the example he sent, according to Muslims' belief, for us to follow, who is Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
What does that mean?
Peace be upon him. I'm sorry. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam is just a fancy way of saying peace be upon him in
Okay.
Arabic, not fancy. Yeah, so he was sent as an example for people who proclaim Islam as their faith to follow, to be their role model, and to try to emulate, sort of. Number 3 is my family, who loves me unconditionally. And if you notice, from 1 through 3, I'm kind of ranking people who would love me the most, and that love is unconditional.
Definitely.
Doesn't matter whether I'm rich or
This
poor.
is deep, man.
Yeah, there's,
Hudge, is your list gonna embarrass my list? Cause
my list is
my
is
list feels embarrassed by your
My
list.
list is boring. So family is gonna be 3, definitely. Parents, wife. And number 4 is going to be my career,
That's good.
because it allows me to serve my religion better.
How?
Well, it's very interesting because in Islam, the concept of worship doesn't just is not just limited to praying 5 times a day like we Muslims do,
Mm-hmm.
or even more than that. It goes beyond. By definition, worship is anything that you do for the sake of your Creator.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm feeding my family with food they love and food they like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually worshiping God.
Mm-hmm.
If I anything I do, if I feed some homeless guy, if I give a ride to a person with my car and they don't have a car, that's a form of worship, as long as I'm doing it, for the right reasons, which is for the sake of God.
Wow,
Right.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good way to look. I never thought
It
of
is
it that way.
interesting. I didn't know I was that interested. Yeah,
You are though.
I-
It's just interesting
I
in
try.
different ways.
Number 4 was the hardest to come up with, actually, because I just couldn't. After the top 4, I couldn't think of anything else. I just went blank. And then 5 is kind of like an extension of what I just described. What worship is in Islam. So 5 would be serving humanity.
Mm-hmm. How so?
Well, that's probably, besides the rituals, that's probably the most important thing that Muslims have as a purpose in our lives, to serve humanity. The most important thing that comes to mind, one of the things that come to mind when I think of serving humanity, is the fact that God says in the Quran that we have created you from one soul, and from that soul we created its mate, and from those two souls came from all the human beings that you see today. And he said that he has exalted the sons and daughters of Adam.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, we're just one tribe, and in a way, we're kind of like responsible for each other, for our own welfare. So the next guy's success and the next guy's happiness should be my happiness, and I should feel responsible for it. Okay, enough
Nice.
talking.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was deep. It was very serious.
Yeah, I
It's
try.
like,
I try to be.
This is important.
I mean, considering that I'm like, goofy 99% of the time, I think maybe I can be serious for 2 minutes. Yeah.
See, it's my job to be goofy.
Yeah. I think it's your
So
job. I think
everything
it's your
is
first
goofy
job
now.
and your second job. To be goofy.
Yeah, my first job and my second job. Well, what's my third job? Okay, well, we'll be back with an interview with Hajj, your nickname, right?
There you go.
So, Hajj, what does your name mean?
My name Al-Hajji actually means the pilgrim. Means the guy the person who has made Hajj, and it's a masculine form of it, who's made Hajj to the holy place of Mecca in Saudi Arabia for Muslims. So
What's your last name? Ba, right? What's that mean?
doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything?
No.
Isn't that like the second letter in the Arabic alphabet?
It is the second letter, but that's not where it comes from.
Oh, okay. Where does
Yeah.
it come from?
It comes from a tribe from West Africa.
Nice. So you're from West Africa?
The Fulanis, yeah.
Cool.
So Ba, there are a lot of Bas, and it's kind of like,
Nice.
yeah, it's like some German nickname from the southern part of Germany.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you with some more tunes that are going to make Hajj uncomfortable. This is called Plummy Tail by the album, the artist name is Dumbo Gets Mad. like that song?
Oh, I loved it. It's
Yeah?
awesome. Yeah.
It's your
I
favorite
I
song?
think I'm gonna buy the album.
What?
I think I'm gonna be buying the album.
Oh, okay. That's nice. So, your organization, Maruf, that's what it's called, right?
That's correct.
Okay,
Maruf.
what does that mean?
Uh, the best definition I can give you is probably good by consensus.
Mm-hmm. That's what it means. Good
Quote,
bicycle.
good by consensus, unquote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And why'd you pick that name for your organization?
Well, I actually didn't pick it up. Someone else did.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see why they would, pick it up. But our mission statement is strengthening faith through action.
Okay.
So it's more about us trying to grow spiritually through helping others versus feeling good about ourselves for helping others. So it's actually a very selfish mission statement. We're actually benefiting more from helping people than actually people are benefiting from us.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, your org came to my attention because I think it was Make a Difference Day, and I saw you guys cleaning up the people's backyards, and that was a really nice image because I saw a bunch of like Muslims, like a lot of girls like wearing hijab and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, what is that?
Yeah, we actually just
So-
didn't have Muslims. We had a couple of people from other faith also join us
So it was like,
in helping us.
so different orgs got to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, the Make a Difference Day is an initiative by, I believe, well, it's definitely an initiative by the Volunteer Center of Milwaukee, Greater Milwaukee, but it's an extension of the effort being put forth by Interfaith Milwaukee. So we have two events every year: the fall event and then the summer event. So we have two Make a Difference days, and it's been a Maruf tradition for the past 4 years. I believe it was 4 years since when we started our first. And I remember the first time we had about maybe 30 volunteers, and it's been growing since.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
Wow.
and every
30
year
is a lot, just 30. Like,
Yeah.
When I try to do something, I have trouble getting 2 volunteers.
Yeah, yeah. I think last time we had 50.
I'm like
about
begging
50
when I'm
volunteers.
asking, oh, please. So that's really nice that you're able to get that many people. So what is your org's mission? Do you just do humanitarian things, or from what I understand, you're a Muslim based, like
Well,
social
I
action
mean,
as
the
well, right?
organization is basically made up of a lot of people who suffer severely from attention deficit disorder, ADD.
Are you?
So yeah, absolutely. Our president is one of them. I'm one of them. It's hard for us to just do one thing and one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So we kind of spread our wings and do a whole bunch of stuff. And sometimes it's pretty, sometimes it's not, but we find a way to get the job
That's
done.
funny.
Yeah. We have the best way I can describe it is that we have two folds to our mission. One fold is to do da'wah, meaning an outreach effort to educate people more about what Islam is as a faith and way of life. And the second fold is to strive for social justice. Make sure that the less fortunate people are being helped, are being shouldered in whatever they need, are being fed, and kind of things like that. We don't have too many resources per se, but for what we have, we try to make the most of it. It's 100% volunteer based. None of us gets a salary or gets any per diems or gas money to do anything. All the money that we get from the community gets funneled through the efforts in our projects and so on. So
Nice. Okay, so where did the idea come from? Like, how did you guys decide? Okay, we're gonna make this social action organization. We're gonna do all of these things, and we're gonna do them for all different kinds of people.
yeah. Well, it was sort of a process. Obviously, we're relatively young as a group. It's basically made up of young students and young Muslim professionals for the most part. But we have a lot of support from our immediate community here in Milwaukee. But Maruf came forth as a way to fill a void that
Yeah, just
Yeah,
ignore
it's
whatever
Armageddon
fell.
here. I think it's Dumbo.
I think it's Dumbo. He
Yeah.
walked in.
Yeah, so
He heard his song playing, and he just,
dancing,
hey guys.
Dumbo tap dancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it came about as a way to fill a void and answer some questions and a need
Uh huh.
that weren't being answered and fulfilled within the
Uh-huh.
community. Not that the community is at fault, but there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
Therefore, the need for an organization like Maruf to step in and fill that void. And that void was, like I said, outreach to people of other faith or people of no faith, and also educating people about what Islam is, and also helping the needy. I know it
Okay.
sounds cliche, but that's exactly what we do, and helping the helpless.
So, do you feel like you're fighting back a misconception about Muslims through Maruf and what you do?
Uh, yeah, I think we are. I think we are setting a precedence for um, other Muslims on a national level to follow with. Maruf actually just opened up another chapter in Dallas, Texas, not so long ago. A bunch of
Awesome.
dynamic young brothers who are looking to do exactly what we're doing here and looking to duplicate it in Texas. Obviously, it's different realities, and the community needs may not be the same, but ultimately the bottom line is educating people more about Islam and also helping people who can help themselves.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
really awesome. So, what are some of the things that you do? What
Uh,
are some of the
yeah,
programs
that's
that you run?
very
The most
hard.
important things.
The most important things. Well,
Or
I'll
tell
say
me everything, but tell me the good stuff.
it's so hard to pick out because they've all been so successful and people have been so grateful for those
Well, we
programs.
have half an hour left, so.
Okay,
Go on.
including starting with me. But yeah, we have various projects. Some of them, like I said, aiming at educating people more about what Islam is, truly is, as a way of life and religion, if you can even call it that. And that includes a campaign we ran called Islam '09, which has become Project Billboard.
I think I've seen your billboards.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very simple. The approach is uh, just rent out some billboards out there, put them up, and put a quote from the Quran or put a quote from a saying of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Because we feel like we don't have to explain much because everything has been said already. And the Prophet's word and the verses in the Quran kind of speak for themselves. And they are to be interpreted. It's kind of a personal thing. What one verse may mean to you may not, obviously have the same meaning as me. For me, so we try to kind of put positive messages out there and kind of convey what the true message of Islam is. Yeah, as a result of recent developments, our religion being hijacked by very unfortunate events that have happened and keep happening. So that's what Islam '09 is designed for. So we've put billboards out on the streets, out on buses. We rented buses and put advertise on buses, but it's not advertisement really. It's more of a like I said, outreach and educational tool. And then we have Project Ink, which is
Ink. Does that have to do
Project
with
Ink.
pens and stuff?
INK. No, there's this guy out here acting like a samurai.
Oh, no.
I get it from you.
He got it from me. Yeah, so Project Ink is basically what we do is we supply correctional facilities throughout the state with Islamic literature, pamphlets, books on the foundations of Islam and so on and so on, just so that inmates or even prison workers who are interested in learning about what Islam is can have the opportunity to do so. And yeah, and there's a lot of
So,
and
how
we-
do you run that program? Like, do you go to the prisons or?
Yeah, you literally have to go through prisons or get in touch with the chaplains and get the literature to the prisoners, to the inmates that way. Or sometimes you have to go yourself and do it. But it's very, very rewarding and yeah, and I think it's been making a difference, absolutely. Because there are a lot of Muslims incarcerated, unfortunately, also.
Yeah.
Because Muslims are no different than any other human being. They make mistakes just like everyone else. We're not pretending to be angels here.
That's
So
true.
yeah, so we try to reach out to them also and kind of re-educate them on what Islam is, and also whomsoever is out there and is interested in knowing what Islam is. Yeah.
That's good.
Keep it in mind that we're not trying to convert anyone. You know, we just, you know, the more we just feel like the more people understand what our faith is, the more we can work together, and the more we can understand each other, and the less petty we are towards each other. Because
Yeah.
ultimately, this is not a we're not trying to be in competition with other faiths or other beliefs out there.
That's true. I feel like for a faith that has quote unquote been, hijacked
Yeah.
by unfortunate events in the media,
Yeah.
I feel like your organization is a really good organization because it does humanize Muslims,
Yeah. We think we're
with
human.
with the things that you do, like you show the public that you care about the same things
Yeah.
that everyone else cares about. Like you care about them. You're not terrorists. You're not,
Yeah. Yeah.
these radical
it's
people. You're just normal people.
Yeah. It's in a way it's kind of unfortunate that we have to sometimes work hard to prove that point.
Yeah.
But
It's like a bittersweet.
yeah, but that's what we have to do. So we're not gonna cry about it or complain. We're just gonna do
You're
what
just
we have
gonna
to do.
it. Yeah. So what else? Is it just the ink and the billboards, or?
No, it's actually not just. And there's also another project that's very. I think it's kind of like the golden child of model projects, and it's called
Nice.
Povertunity. And
Awesome.
it's
Povertunity.
Povertunity.
So is that poverty and opportunity
How
together?
cool is that? I know.
That is really
That's
awesome.
really
Did you
cool.
come up with that?
No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't come up with none of these good things. Yeah, maybe I should come up with something. someday.
That's awesome. So what is Povertunity
So
about? That sounds
Povertunity,
interesting.
basically, we just it's aimed at the homeless in the Milwaukee area.
Mm-hmm.
What we do is we provide them with survival kits. I'm sorry, not kids. Survival
We're
kits.
gonna give some kids to the homeless.
homeless.
Here's a kid for everybody.
So survival kits and non-perishable items,
Okay.
hygienic items also. Yeah, and just we just try to make their day, and
Okay,
and
nice. So how do you distribute that?
well, traditionally we would get in some cars, we would get together and we would get into groups and get a couple of cars and just drive around.
That's
You
really
know, talk
interesting.
about being grassroots approach. So that's what we do. And yeah, brothers and sisters would get in cars and we'll just drive around and you can we've terrified and frightened people before. Because we would just
I wanna
drive
know about that.
in the middle of the night and just pop out of the car with some plastic bags and they look at us like, what the heck is going on?
That's really interesting.
Yeah, but for
It's
the most part, we've been welcomed and people have been grateful and they've thanked us and and it's very very fulfilling, very rewarding.
That's awesome.
I think anybody should
Usually,
try that sometimes.
you hear about just on your way home you
Yeah.
see people with boards
Yeah.
and homeless sign, but you're actually going out there and you're actually looking for them.
Yeah, that's actually how the idea came about because one of the members of Maruf just, he kept driving the same route every single day, and then he would see the same homeless people at the same spots every single day, and in the wintertime it's even tougher for them. So, and we're just starting, and we're learning. It's a learning process, but it's really here to address a demand and try to bring solutions to a problem that's really affecting the the Milwaukee community. Homelessness is a
Definitely.
very big issue in
I
Milwaukee.
hear that
so.
it's like the fourth.
Oh yeah, it's up there. So
Yeah.
we're not gonna
In the top 10.
mouth our city or anything, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely.
But I
up
mean,
there.
it's just, it's. I feel like it's not bad mouthing the city. It's just a fact. There's poverty everywhere. We
Yeah.
just happen to have,
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of it.
a lot of them. So yeah, and the second approach we've also taken is we've been going to some homeless shelters, and fortunately for us, excuse me. Fortunately for us, they've been very,
Would you like some imaginary water that I don't have?
of course.
Here you go.
And yeah, they've been very receptive and very uh, collaborative. And yeah, and so we just go up to a homeless shelter and pull out our bags, survival kits, and they will get, you know, uh, our for brothers and sisters out, and we would, hand them over, and I mean, it's an awesome thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely. Yeah,
So
which you can volunteer for, by the way. If you go to marufonline.com, you can definitely volunteer for that. You don't have to. Everyone is welcome.
I'm
Basically.
googling it right now.
Yeah, please. marufonline.com.
Yes.
One word.
It's like sounds like you can rhyme a lot of things with maruf, like raise the roof. Do you have an event like that? You should make an event like that.
We actually did have a
Oh,
Raise the
really?
Roof event.
Well, see, I'm a genius then, 'cause
Yeah, I think she knows stuff. I don't know. She's hiding information from me. Yeah, Raise the Roof. We did an event called Raise the Roof last year in cooperation with Habitat for Humanity.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
That's
really
really
cool.
creative.
Yeah.
So you're like building roofs.
Yeah, it was
and,
awesome.
like,
Apart from the
oh,
fact that it was during the winter, and
Nice.
we were freezing to death. Fortunately for me, I was indoors,
Oh, no.
painting, so I was warm.
Well, who was outside?
But everyone else was out there.
Oh, okay.
I let my wife be outside. And,
Oh my
I
God,
was
why?
inside. No, I didn't. She was with me. Yeah, it was awesome. We painted.
Your wife is tougher than you.
Yeah, we did like 3 houses. Well, my group.
You painted 3 houses.
My group
Wow.
did 3 houses.
In one day?
Just in the interior. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's a lot.
There was probably maybe 5 of us in each house.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we weren't there on our own. There were some Habitat for Humanity representatives and contractors there to kind of
That's nice.
help us and tell me, don't paint this wall red,
Mhm.
don't use this purple color, and so on.
Don't use this purple color.
Yeah.
So, what else?
That's another project. Another project would be, God, what's that other project? Our half of faith campaign, which is also another very awesome project. It's basically a neighborhood cleanup project. We drive around. We all have jobs, and we kind of like go through the same neighborhoods every single day, back and forth from work. So we kind of try to identify what portions of the city kind of need.
Why is it called Half a Faith campaign?
It's called Half a Faith campaign because cleanliness is next to godliness,
Oh, that's interesting.
which is it's not necessarily an Islamic term or expression, but it's very true in Islam. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, put a lot of emphasis on being clean and looking decent and looking presentable to other people, and not because because it's offensive to be dirty
It's offensive to be
and
dirty.
and clean,
Oh,
so to
you
speak.
just look dirty. You're
Yeah,
offending
we
me
just
right
we
now.
just we just feel as though if the city looks bad and dirty, we all look bad and dirty. So yeah, so we try to go out there and like I said again, in Islam, that's another form of worship. May sound cliche, but yeah, absolutely. In Islam, it's true that cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the projects besides Povertunity that gets the most attention because we're out there, and people can see us, and we get the people blowing their horns and thanking us and waving and
That's
so on and so
awesome.
forth.
Must be a good feeling.
Yeah. Last
Fortunately,
cleanup.
when people honk their horns at me, it's not because of that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Usually it's like, go back to your country. But it's
I know.
nice that like you don't get that. You're being thanked for actually
Oh yeah, absolutely.
being there,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Which is
It'd
awesome
be nice
because
for
no
like
one
a
else would.
hijabi like me to actually like be thanked on the street instead of like
Yeah.
honk honk.
It's hard.
Go back to your country.
It's funny
Okay.
that you mentioned it because last time we had about maybe 30 girls.
Yeah.
30 sisters involved in the cleanup, and you should have seen them going up and down the streets. With their hijabs and so on.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome, and people don't give enough credit to
Hijabis?
others. No, not hijabis. To actually, I'm saying like our fellow Americans. everybody thinks that people don't really know what Islam is and so on and so forth, and they have a negative point of view or viewpoints, if you will, of Muslims. But when you go out there, you realize that it's the total opposite. People are very tolerant, and people don't care whether you're wearing hijab or kufi or whether you're not wearing anything, because some of the sisters aren't wearing hijab. For that, as a matter of fact, people don't really care. They just want everyone to help each other and do good unto each other. So, which is kind of ironic, because Prophet Muhammad himself said that no one no one among yourselves has achieved true faith until they want for their neighbor what he or she wants for them, for him or herself. So that's what we're trying to embody and go out there and do what we have to do,
Makes
especially in
sense.
these difficult times. Correct. Yeah.
So, what do you have planned for the future?
Well, we have big plans. One of the projects that hasn't been implemented yet, but we're hoping and praying that one day it'll come true. As a dream for us is to have a prison reentry program. Uh, Honestly, we have
What did you say? A prison reentry
reentry
program?
program.
Okay.
You mentioned the high rate of homelessness in the Milwaukee area. One of the other unfortunate statistics in the Milwaukee area is also there's a high rate of recidivism from former inmates. So what we try to do is we try to set up this project that kind of on the outset, when inmates come out of prison, excuse me, we can kind of help them and guide them through their their life challenges overall. Kind of keep them occupied and keep them positive, offer them better alternatives, lifestyle alternatives, trying to
And how do you
encourage
go?
education. We put a high emphasis on education. We feel like those who get into higher learning, or even high school level and so on, they become more productive. And when it's time for them to look for a job or career or start a career, it looks way better in front of employees, that you kind of show proof that you want to better yourself, and you went and got your GED, or you went and got a 2 year degree or a 4 year degree for that matter. So yeah, we try to put an emphasis on that. We also um, put an emphasis on surroundings and association, human association. Kind of encourage them to put themselves in better environments. If they have to go to church, that's what they need to do. If they have to be in the mosque, that's what they have to do. They just have to kind of surround themselves with positive people who will steer them in the right way versus steering them in the wrong direction. So yeah, so that's in a niche what we would love and like to do. Obviously, it's very demanding in terms of human capital and financial resources.
Yeah.
So we're kind of working on that, and through God's grace, hopefully, we'll be able to, in the near future, hopefully, implement a similar project.
That's interesting. So, how do you go about doing that? How do you find the people who are coming out of prison? And
Well, currently, it's not a project per se. It's not part of Project Inc. that I mentioned before. But a lot of Maruf brothers actually are already volunteering in some correctional facilities. Uh, there's me. There's a couple other brothers who once in a while go into the prisons, and we talk to the prisoners, talk to Muslim prisoners, talk to non-Muslim prisoners, as life counselors, so to speak. So we're already kind of familiar with that environment. So if this we feel like the most difficult portion of that project wouldn't be an issue, because we're already familiar with that kind of environment. Uh, as we're already in touch with them already when they're on the inside. So as they come out and they get onto start dealing with the outside world, we would already be there, because they would have already known us while they were incarcerated.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Really
It's
awesome what
It's
you
awesome.
guys are doing. So we're just gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much
It's
for.
over?
Well,
Damn.
yeah, I'm gonna,
You gonna play a
the
song?
next show is gonna start. So
You gonna play one of your songs?
yeah, one of my songs that you get uncomfortable with. But thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming
for
on the
having me.
show. Oh, no problem. Anytime. Come back again. Tell us about engineering and
Of course.
your important things.
I don't even know what engineering is. Look at
Or
that.
whatever you're doing.
Whatever I'm doing, yeah.
Okay, well here is another funny one. Zombie Nation by
boy.
Jose Travieso.
Who chooses the name for this group?
I don't know. That was the Uzi Show. Tune in next Sunday at 6 p.m. Central on riverwestradio.com.